everyone, Tina here. I hope you're having a wonderful day. I'm so glad you're joining me. Today we're making a card. We're using some items from Simon Says Stamped. We have the daisy frame. This is actually a bundle. This has a stencil that will color in the frame and the swag. And then it also has a coordinating die. And we're also using an embossing folder that's really pretty. It's called Woven Rings for my background. So let's jump in and get started. We're going to start by doing a little stenciling on our stamped image, and I thought we would stamp and heat emboss our image. Instead of stamping on white cardstock, I chose my Spellbinders Fog cardstock. So it's a very pale gray, and we're going to be heat embossing, so I'm going to treat my paper with my anti-static powder. I'm going to use my Versamark ink and go over this image here. And then I'm going to go over this with some white embossing powder. And we're going to use the heat gun and melt it. I want to add my panel to my grip mat. Let's zoom in a little bit better so you can see more. Okay, and then we're going to use the coordinating stencil. This is a two-piece stencil set. Okay, there's etched detail around each of these, so you know where to position it on the wreath here. I'm going to use some Post-it note tape and just mask off this side. And then we're going to use my Simon Says Stamped Positively Saturated inks. Now for the daisies, we're going to use two different colors. I have straw and I have guava. Lovely. And then we'll go in the center here and this kind of spread out a little bit. On the side flowers, we're just going to add a little bit to the base. I just want a little bit of pink. Okay, flowers are all done. And it looks just gorgeous. Now we're going to take our next stencil and we're going to go over the leaves. For my leaves, instead of going green, I thought we would go gray, just to change things up a little bit. Maybe we'll bring in green too. Lovely. And I'm going to add just a little bit of green to the base of the leaves. You probably, with the gray, you probably won't be able to see it too much. But let's go ahead and take a look. It took no time at all, but look how gorgeous that is. Just beautiful. And then let's stamp our sentiment, and then we'll die cut all at once. I'm bringing in my stamping positioner, and I'm going to use the same ink that we use for our wreath. This is Cozy once more. And I'm using the stamping positioner in case I have to stamp it more than once, but I think once is the perfect, well, we'll stamp it a couple of times. And then I'll also cut out, using some pop-up foam, I'm also going to cut out the greeting. Now we'll die cut these out, and then while we're at the die cutting machine, I'm also a panel using the embossing folder. Again, this is the Woven Rings. It's really pretty, but we're going to do partial embossing. What I mean by that is we're going to place this in our embossing folder, maybe 2/3 of the way up, and then I will emboss this. So we'll have no embossing on top and then some embossing on the bottom. Embossing and die cutting is all done, and you know, while I was at it, I was looking for a border to cover here, but then I decided, you know, instead of using a border, maybe we should just put a bow to fill it in. So I created a bow using the Simon Says Stamped double loop bow. It's very easy to create. I thought we would add a dainty bow. I was going to use natural twine, but I thought a die cut would fill in the area a little bit more. Okay, let's take our embossed panel, which is so pretty. Let's flip it around, and we're going to glue it to the front of our card base. I'm just going to use my tape runner. Now this panel was an A2. I took some very thin strips. Let me show you. Some very thin strips. And I trimmed just a little bit off. This way we have just a slight white border around my card base. And then I did pop up my wreath. Let's go ahead and add that. Let's glue our greeting to our foam. Now I'm going to add glue behind here, but I think I'm going to put the bow down first. So let's add up some glue behind our bow. And I'm going to add it right here on top. And then we're going to add our greeting right here in the middle. I'm going to probably overlap a little bit of that bow. Finishing touches are bringing in my diamond stickles. And I'm just going to go over the flower centers here. I didn't want to take away from those pretty daisies. And then there's like little baby breath in the wreath. I'm going to add some little dots of glitter in those little flowers because those aren't colored in. But we'll have a little extra sparkle there. And that finishes my project today. Create a beautiful wreath or a beautiful swag. This is one of those designs too that would look great if you put the swag across the seam. Put your greeting on top or bottom of it. So it's very versatile. The daisy frames are really versatile and the greetings in there are so pretty. But that's my card project today. This is actually part of Simon Says Stamp's brand new Every Happiness release. Hope you get a chance to check it out. I'll leave the entire release down below if you want to head on over. Have a wonderful day. Thanks so much for joining me. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye. Thanks so much for sticking with me to the end. I have 2 more videos that you guys might be interested here. If you guys are new and like the content that you see, click that subscribe button and also the notification bell. That way for future videos, be notified. Also, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. It sure does help the channel. Have a wonderful day. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.